There's drama in the NXT women's division. And of course, Santino Marella was here. Was there a Milan miracle or an Orlando miracle? Find out next.
I am in misery. Everyone is watching me when I'm coming around. They all are judging me when I'm lying on the ground. I've got no shelter. I've got no escape. My life is a prison and I can't run away. I feel it in my bones. I'm losing it all. Stuck in my head, I am in misery. Deep inside myself, all I get, my only family. Stuck in the grave, can someone rescue me? I'm burning alive, I got it. I am in
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Taking Over. I am, of course, OLED Ed Fries, joined as always by the natural Hollywood Astrid herself. Astrid, how you doing tonight?
I'm trying to stay awake, but I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good tonight. We will not be talking anything about the retrospectives that they did tonight. We're going to continue to ignore all of that. We do want to talk a little bit about some NXT news that was outside of NXT that dropped this week. So, Ellie Price was informed from fans that her vocals were being used as the Fatal Attraction theme song. Which, now, to make it clear, these were vocal tracks that she put out there to be used by other people. These are not vocal tracks that she was using to further herself. This isn't her own music that she did specifically to promote herself. She's not angry at WWE or Def Rebel for anything they did. Based on the video that she put out. Again, whether she is or isn't, we don't quite know. But we do know that the videos seem to be a positive thing of, hey, thank you for, listening to my music. If you want to hear more, this is where I have my stuff. She seems to be in good spirits about it. She doesn't seem to be too upset with it. She did inform us that Def Rebel did run this through an AI to alter the lyrics and to also alter her voice, which, again, isn't uncommon when you're using the type of software that she's using to do what they did, because they're not using her. They want to use the track and stuff. Again, she was praising the fact that her music is out there. She was confused that they changed some of the lyrics, and she's open to doing more things like this in the future for other people. So you would think, okay, positive post, everybody's happy. No, people are not happy. People are claiming Def Rebel stole her things, which isn't exactly what happened. Of course, the AI portion of this is always controversial because artificial intelligence isn't great. But, I mean, if they didn't use the AI, they literally would have stolen all of her work and not credit her or anything. So to take the AI and alter it to make it what they wanted, I guess is some form of change. I mean, again, she seems to be in good spirits in her entire video about this. So, I'm going to go positive. Positive story for WWE. God, they need those.
I mean, I'm glad for her, but I feel like it's one of those things, like, especially her probably being a smaller artist, it would have been cool on the other side of it as well, of like them going, hey, let's reach out to her, let's get her to do these vocals for us. I know they probably didn't want to pay her, most likely. That's why they didn't want to credit her, and they changed the lyrics the way they did. But how cool would it have been if they reached out to her, say, "Hey, we want to use your vocals. Can we use them? Can we put the credit of that Rebel featuring in her name at least?" Because the people see it, and then that can get people to click on her name, and that would be like more exposure for her in the end. So I think that would have been cool on the other side to see as well. Because I'm like, imagine if you see a song and it says Def Raffle featuring and then your name on it. That's something that's pretty cool, and doesn't happen often as well. I would have liked something like that to have happened, because then she would have noticed it now, because Fatal Influence has been together for like what, maybe a year now at this point.
Yeah, a year plus feels like.
Imagine if she noticed it now. Like, imagine how how long ago that happened. But I think it would have been cool, because then she would have been not only credited within the song in all the like music platforms, but then it would have been cool because she would have been known about it even beforehand and say, "Oh, that's super cool! Like, somebody see my vocals, like it's a great opportunity." And who knows, if maybe more opportunities would have come from that too. And I think that would have been a cool thing to do as well. I'm not saying I don't agree with her, because that's a cool thing, like to be able to, like, you're that creative that you use some of your work in that sense of it. I'm not a fan of the AR part. That's a different story. But I think that would have been cool on the other side of it, or like including her to begin with.
Yeah, and again, I like the fact that she's not. This isn't a thing where she's angry or upset. As she says in the video, this is exactly the purpose of what I did, why I did, is to put these things out there so that other people can use this for their own purposes. This music was created specifically for, now granted, not for wrestling, but because she, as she said in the video, she's not a wrestling fan. She didn't know until people told her. And I've always wondered who's on the audio track, because I love the audio of that song. I hate the group. I don't love the song as a wrestling entrance theme, but I love the song in general.
Yeah, I do too. That's why I always wonder who it was, because I knew it wasn't like Def Rebel, to put it like that. So I always wonder, but it sucks that we couldn't see the credits of, like, to see who really it was. But it's good to know who the person really is, because now, if anything, we can follow her, see what else she does in the future.
Yeah, and I'm very excited for Ellie Price to have something good happen for her in the future, and maybe more wrestlers will turn to her for something if they need it.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where musicians and singers gave their stuff for free, knowing larger audiences will tune in, hear it, and bring more eyes, ears and eyes through it. Yeah, like I said, I agree with Astrid. Crediting her wouldn't have been the end of the world. I agree. But at the same time, the moment you credit her, the moment she starts getting a piece of it, whereas, and again, to defend a multi-billion-dollar company that really shouldn't need any defending, they did nothing wrong.
Yeah. They're trying to save money too, which we know is a TKO thing anyway.
They're trust me. If a TKO executive comes to your house, he's reaching in your couch cushions to find change, just so we know.
So, yes. But again.
You got to take that money and give it to everybody, except the wrestlers. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, I agree. They did. She's giving it away for free. Exactly, and that was her point in the video too. Is she wanted to try to curb backlash as she came out with it. She also wanted to curb the backlash in the video by saying, "Look, I'm not upset. This is the exact reason of what I did, why I did." So again, she's thrilled that her stuff is out there. She's thrilled people are enjoying it. She wants people to come see more of her work on the platforms that she does it. Hopefully this is a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
And we started with 15 minutes of me ranting about TNA last week. I figured we should do something nice this week. I've also agreed to the Our Local Establishment leadership team that I will be less entertaining from here on out, so that no more clips can be made of me.
Why are you taking my job away from me? That's a me thing. I'm the boring one here.
This reminds me of a little Mix members finding out years later after the fact that their songs were used for shows. But this is different. That was like their music in its entirety being used, as opposed to like somebody making a clip. Nobody agreed to this. No. I'm going to be less entertaining and just, down the middle.
Let's see how long that lasts, but okay.
Oh, yeah, it won't last long, I guarantee it. Unlike Jay White, I am not a charisma vacuum, so.
Ay.
Astrid, talk to me about Jaida versus Jazmyn. That was the opening contest for our show tonight.
Can I say one word? Yikes. Um, it wasn't much to it, to be honest. I thought it would have been more of a. Okay, I don't want to say that the match is going to last longer because it's Jazmyn and she's still very newish to this. But I thought it would last a little bit longer with Jazmyn putting a little bit more work in here, so at least show her off before Jaida wins. What happened? But I figured this is the beginning of the end for Fatal Influence, to put it like that. And we're seeing it tonight, continue on tonight with Jazmyn and her performance, and Jaida winning. That was a quick match, in my opinion. At least I don't know if it fell the same for you, but it felt more like almost a squash match. Almost. It was like right there.
My notes say Jaida wins a quick match. Jazmyn still doesn't seem like she's getting any better. Here's my thing. Here's my thing with Jazmyn Nix. She did this incredibly weird, like, bridge, like on her head, on her shoulders, while she had like this rear chin lock on Jaida. What the fuck was she doing? Like, it does nothing to Jaida. Like, it's the world's worst submission move. I've been asking the question for years. What's a worse submission move than Thea Hale's Kimura lock? Whatever the fuck Jazmyn Nix did tonight is the answer. People are spoiled. Most matches should only be 5 to 7 minutes. Yes, but it didn't even reach 5 minutes. And
Yeah,
honestly, it should have been faster.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been. It was 5 minutes, and it was 4 minutes, and that was generous because the worst part is Jazmyn couldn't even get into the right spot for Hypnotic. Because literally, like, Hypnotic, when done properly, and again, I don't know how, under the grace of God, I'm going to say this. Jaida did nothing wrong. But Hypnotic is supposed to be like hip and ass in the face. Jaida essentially ran into Jazmyn Nix because she was out of position.
Mm-hmm.
And again, maybe I'm wrong. But every other time that Jaida does Hypnotic, it looks great. And tonight it looked like she walked into Jazmyn's face.
Because she did. No, I'm kidding.
We then move to Javon Evans backstage talking to everybody. He talks to people from Undertaker's LFG team, if I remember correctly. He then gets in the face of the High Rise for not having Trix back during the Undertaker segment last week, where he goes and he sits and listens as Chase talks to his tag team of Uriah Connors and Cale Dixon and tells them they need to go ahead. What?
Do you remember his name?
Yeah, he's a loser, but I've remembered his name fine. He goes ahead and tells them they need to go ahead and they have to go and approach the tag team champions and go ahead and get themselves a tag team title match. Why they deserve a tag team title match is beyond me. But Javon Evans says, you know what, listen to Teach, he's right. He goes ahead and walks off because he's going to go ahead and confront the big dog. Hello, Joe. We greatly appreciate you being here. Thank you for joining us. He says he's going to go to the ring and call out the big dog. We come back from commercial break, and Javon Evans is there trying to call out the big dog, to which Trick Williams comes out. And Javon goes...
I thought it was supposed to be Roman, but okay. I'm joking.
I mean... Honestly, it would have been better if it were Roman. But unfortunately, Roman's probably still looking for his Jordans. Probably. Roman, go talk to the Bronze. I think they have your Jordans. I think I saw that on television and everywhere on social media last night before Unreal dropped this afternoon. Javon, the voice of reason. I mean, to an extent, yeah. Because Trick's like, I'm here, you're not ready for me. And he's like, yeah, I wasn't quite talking about you, big dog. Like, I was talking about Obafemi. And Trick's like, And Trick's like, oh, well, I mean, that's good because, you would lose to me, but also I'm going to, do what Jayne did and get my 2 belts. And I'm like, no, for the love of God. No, I don't want Trick compete. At Heatwave, I do not want my main event to be Trick Williams versus Javon Evans versus Obafemi. Like
we done this combination kind of already, so this why?
Yes, at Stand and Deliver, the big show where it was a great match, but I don't want it again. I want Javon versus Obafemi in Lowell, Massachusetts. Wes Lee comes out and says that it should be him challenging Obafemi. We better get a good card. Yes, it's starting to shape up pretty well. I can already see a couple matches forming. I think we're going to be okay. They literally turned him into another Readerman gimmick. I like it.
Readerman.
I like how of all the things I've said, that's the one that's catching on. It's been 3 years of us doing this, and that's the one that's caught on.
Hey, you got to start somewhere.
I mean, I'm fine with recycling matches, but like that match in its entirety, in itself, is not an issue. But Trick being the TNA champion, and there needs to be something else done around that, and whether it be the TNA, superstars invading, like I said they were going to do in Rhode Island this week on TNA television, which they didn't do. So, good for TNA to again. Oh, I'm sorry. Joe Hendry popped up 3 times to invade NXT. I catch on to random things. It's not just you. Yeah. Javon and Wes get into a fight. The whole group beats down Javon Evans, and we get a match made later on. Javon Evans versus Wes Lee. After, do you want to try to explain what happened here when Kale and Uriah tried to get their tag team title match from Hang Tank?
You know what I realized? What I have to do? Me that being a superstar, just go to the women's locker room, knock on the door, and say, "I want a title match," and then blam, I get it too, because that's how it goes in NXT now. Well,
it does when you have dumbasses like Hank and Tank as your champions. Because I imagine if you walked up to Jacy Jayne, that wouldn't happen.
Never. Maybe it was Sol Ruka. Maybe that will work on her.
I mean, even with Sol Ruka, you have to fight Zarya first, and I don't know if you want to fight Zarya.
Maybe, but I'm like, they found apparently the recipe to just go, let's just get a title match. It's like, and then they come in. I thought they were in Ava's office, so I was like, why are they going to Ava's office with chairs on their hands? I was so confused at first until I realized what it said. It was like, okay, do we go on 3? No, wait, do we go 1, 2, 3, and then go? I was like, oh gosh. I was like, this is not what I pictured for a Finlay to be doing in NXT, but oh well. Nothing we can do about it at this point. It does, but it just...
I mean, if you mean by fun bad, then yes, it has the potential to be very, very bad.
It's just like, I just kept thinking, so this is any strategy to get a title match. No, they just go there, almost attack the champions, but don't attack them yet. And then there's a lot of yelling involved, and just, we'll give it to you, and then goodbye.
You added one too many words here, Miss Millie. It is a match full of idiots. End of story. No lovable in them. Also, I want to point this out. We did know that tonight somebody was at the PC enjoying the show. And we can confirm he has as much bad taste as I thought he did. Here's Jelly Roll enjoying a Hank Tank match. He is a Hank Tank fan. Which just makes so much sense that he's the idiot that I really thought he was. So, that makes sense. I mean, you can try to be nice, but I'm not going to. But yeah, no. Jelly Roll was apparently very, very entertained by Hank and Tank. Jelly Roll, who will be wrestling this Saturday night with Randy Orton against Logan Paul and for who? Jelly Roll? What? Other than the fact that he's hillbilly me, why?
Told you that was not going to last too long.
You know, just I have so much charisma in me that I just have to let it out. No, Rob, we are not getting me a Hank Tank shirt. No.
Yes, please do. Yes.
No.
I'd love to see him wearing it. Please.
No. Rob, no. Bad Rob. Also, Rob, get a hold of me after the show because we do need to talk about CNA because tickets go on sale tomorrow. Well, he's not a redneck. He's just a hillbilly. Like, to be honest, I like Jelly Roll. I think his music's really interesting. I'm actually kind of a fan of his music. I like Jelly Roll.
Bobby, that's your clip. There you go. 20 minutes.
I mean, he's an idiot for being a Hank Tank fan, but like he's not bad. He's one of the better people that like does this whole music thing.
Yes, we are. Don't worry about it. It didn't happen.
We can make that a clip.
No, please don't.
So there's two chances for match of the night here tonight because part of me knows that it's Wesley versus John Evans.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a part deep down inside of me that really loves this next match, Tavion Heights versus Charlie Dempsey 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're so good together. The chemistry these two have, whether it's rolling around and training at the PC, whether it's just the fact that they know each other so much from what they've been doing. But since Tavion went to Noah, he...
Peggy came at the right time this time.
But no, I love these two. Because they don't do anything flashy or special. Like, there's Javon Evans versus Wesley is one of the really great matches because there's a lot of big moves and flashy things in it. There's just a lot of really good, intricate ring work. I'm going to ignore all of this at this point. In this Charlie Dempsey Tavion Heights match, there's so much good intermingling between the two groups. There's so much the Wren Sinclair of it all on the outside. She's doing such a good job of portraying the I don't know what to do. She's cheering for both guys. She's frantically looking under the ring for something to throw at one point during this match. I don't know what she was looking for. I don't know what she found some kind of. She found some big Texan thing under the ring, and she just they just cut away from her. Like, I don't know what was supposed to be under the ring that they didn't want us to see, but it was apparently. I love this from start to finish. It's just good old-fashioned technical ring work with Tavion doing his suplexes, and it was fun. It told the story they needed to tell. I thought commentary was great during this match. There was a really good portion during the commercial break that I'm sure Astrid missed with all of them getting into everything going on. Yes, I would love Wren Sinclair to have her own program. If you don't watch Wren Wednesdays, you need to watch Wren Wednesdays because they are a thing of genius. My favorite thing is that she writes things on her hands that aren't written on her hand, which is just chef's kiss. Wren Sinclair needs to get a push. Here's what I do with Wren Sinclair. I would put her to Evolve. I would send her to Evolve. The reason why is because I think you could then feature her week in and week out working with these younger wrestlers. And I think she could be a really interesting person to take the title off of Callie Armstrong. I think her taking that title off of Callie Armstrong and making Callie have to chase could be interesting. Because Callie's a heel, but I think she's a heel that could be fun to watch dominate and go through that division again, chasing a chance at Wren Sinclair. It doesn't have to be a long run or a long reign for Wren, but I think there's a lot of value in bringing her down there, especially with how jam-packed this women's division is right now. There's just no room for her.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking too. The fact that I feel like she came at a like weird time. I don't want to call it weird, but I hope that makes sense because we had her come in. They debuted her in a battle royal when putting her nameplate the way they did. They didn't even give her like a proper debut, and then you have all these people like a Julia and a Stephanie and a Zaria and a Jordan, and then now Blake and all these like newer toys, as I call them, coming in, and then the girls like her end up being more in the background for a little while, while the new girls are put in the spotlight. And especially for Wren, she's one of those people like she has experience as it is, like unlike most of the people, and then she also can be a face and a heel. We haven't seen her as a heel yet, which is something I'm still looking forward to, like really seeing from her. And I feel like they could do more with her than what they're doing. I do like the comedy aspect of it, something different for her, and I like that she's able to show that off as well. But I would like for her to get some kind of direction and get into a feud with somebody, not just have random matches like she did with Blake for her debut, and that's about it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to get into with Wren Sinclair, but like you said, it's not even just newer toys as it is just so much great talent. Hey, Conrad, thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. If you need your AEW post-show fixes for AEW, go to Everything Pro Wrestling. Also catch them every Monday night as he works with Sean Hubbard from the Hubbard Wrestling Report, and they go over the weekend wrestling, and they do lots of deep dives into specific topics. Those guys are great. We love Conrad and all the good things he does over there. Always a big fan of Conrad and all the work that he does. So always nice when he gets to drop in. I love watching his content. Even though I've been a little light on the content lately, I apologize. I'll make sure I get back into it. The Wednesday rabbit hole
Wednesday. I love those.
Anytime, Conrad. Good people deserve getting shout outs when we can. But no, she just came at such a weird, like you said, a weird time where she started to kind of get a push, and then it's not even so much new toys, it's like things that like we need to play with as it is. We got these generational talents, Stephanie Vicaire, Julia, Jordan Grace, and Blake Monroe. These 3 of the 4 of them are generational talents, and one of them's too soon to know. Like, let's be honest, with Blake Monroe, we don't know if she's a generational talent. She's a star. She's all eyes on Blake. But, I mean, it's too early to tell if she's a generational talent. But Stephanie Vicaire is a generational talent. Julia is a generational talent. Jordan Grace has been doing this for so long and has been doing it at a high level, even in a smaller pond at such a high level. Speaking of, not quite yet. Speaking of Jordan, we'll get back to her in just a second. We do have a quick segment backstage where the High Rise tells Trick that we'll take care of Javon Evans. All you got to do is get us a tag team match when we win. So I guess they're not getting that tag team title match now, huh?
Nah. That's not how it works. They have to go to the locker room with the chairs in hand, go try to tag the champions, and then you get a title shot. Come on, people, learn.
Yeah, good luck going against the Hardys with a chair. I don't think there's no brains left to scramble on those 2 gentlemen. Now just look at you and go, are you on an expedition for gold? It's about the closest to a broken map that I get. Santino comes through and says Trick has no stroke in TNA, that he is the director of authority, but tonight he is a WWE superstar. And that the TNA title will be coming back to TNA soon. Yes, and if you're looking for that date, everybody, it is October 12th, Bound for Glory from Lowell, Massachusetts, where hopefully I will be. Tickets on sale tomorrow. All right. Oh, SCG's here. All right, Astrid, I need your opinion before I start going off on this. And we're going to break down, at this point, let's just talk about the Blake Monroe portion. Let's leave everything from everybody else coming out for a moment to the side. We'll get back to that. But can you talk to me about your thoughts on what you thought of what Blake Monroe had to say? Oh no, I'm sorry, STG. That's bad. Can you talk to me about what you thought she has had to say here? Because I think you're going to have an interesting viewpoint on this one.
It's one of those things like I don't like these type of storylines. It reminds me of like the Piggy James one. Definitely not one that I'm a fan of. It's something I'd rather forget, to be honest. And I'm not a fan of these storylines when they have like, to put it like this, the like hot blonde girl, or what they call like the bombshell, basically talking about somebody that's thicker than she is or was, because Jordan doesn't even look like that anymore. I feel like in this day and age, you shouldn't be bringing that up, like pinning a woman against a woman in that type of way. And that is something that really bothered me in the aspect of this one. She is putting pictures up of Jordan when I don't want to say that she was younger, because it feels weird to say that because she wasn't even that young, but just older pictures of her when she was a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker. And I'm not a fan of storylines when they like to portray stuff like this as like, I think her line was like, "Oh, this is not what a championship material. This is what a gym membership looks like." Yeah, not the detailing that I like from this particular storyline here, and it's making me wonder the direction that they have for Blake Monroe so far in her characters. I understand wanting to be, kind of like a bitchy kind of person, but I don't like her bringing up like Jordan's weight here as a topic of discussion during a show like this. But I did like that she corrected Booker. That I'll give her brownie points for that. I love that part.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that she corrected Booker. I thought that was great. Yes. Yeah, I get what they're going for. I get what the point of this is, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea. I will get to everything pro wrestling's comments in just a minute. Yeah, Booker T was absolutely not listening. He was on fucking cloud nine that she was talking to him. Yeah. I don't love the body shaming either. I don't think it's a good look. I think it's fair game, especially for somebody who's changed as much as Jordan Grace has. Because unlike Mickie James and unlike the Piggy James segment, I think that there's a lot of firepower that Jordan has coming out of this that I think is going to make this a much better storyline than what we've seen, as mentioned by Millie. The Piggy James thing, like you mentioned, Alexa and Nia, things like that. It makes sense within the Blake Monroe. Exactly, I was going to say. It makes sense within the Blake Monroe gimmick. And if done properly, and Blake Monroe is a heel, it's just got to be done so carefully. The problem is, and this is where the rubber meets the road, to do this storyline correctly, Jordan needs to win. Here's your problem. Jordan's not going to win this feud. And she's not going to win this match that I'm assuming is coming at Heatwave. I'm assuming this is a Heatwave match. Blake Monroe versus Jordan Grace. I don't think Jordan wins that. I think this is going to be the beginning of a big push for Blake Monroe. And that's where I have an issue with the gimmick in the story. Because if it's about body shaming and the right person wins, everything's okay. Because these wrestling, when it's at its best, is an indictment of what's going on in the world around us. Things like this happen, and seeing a bully get put in their place is a good thing. And as long as Jordynne Grace, and again, the biggest thing with this is Jordynne on board? Because of the other segments that we talked about, Mickie has been very clear she wasn't as on board with that idea as she would have liked to have been, as we would have liked her to have been. And that's where this gets kind of problematic. I want to see Jordynne's response on social media or next week on the show before I lay judgment on this. I don't outright hate it and say we can't have body shaming, period. Because I think it's a very, when told correctly, it's a very good story to tell. There's a lot of positive that can come out of this story if the bully gets put in their place. But that's a big if. Because let's put it this way, Jordynne Grace hasn't won any big match in NXT.
I think also, to your point about the winning part of it, I know there's option A, Blake wins. And I feel like option B could also be the way you see it with the storyline so far. First, we get Jordynne getting beat up. Then Jordynne gets basically body shamed, because that's basically what it was, and fat shamed. I feel like you could also go almost to the point, because as you say, I feel like they're in a way that kind of in a pickle, because you have Jordynne, somebody that's kind of newer to NXT. So it's Blake. So it's like, I know they could pick Blake to win, but also from their standpoint, you're in like a terrible place in that aspect of it, because you have two newer superstars. Who do you benefit here to continue on? And I feel like another ending I could see for this as well will be Jordynne being so furious and with that bit much of a rage that she can just go after Blake, and that will cause a DQ. And I feel like that could be the other option I could see happening here, because I could see it of like, yes, Blake won, but it's because Jordynne was so upset that she couldn't really finish like what a regular match would be, kind of thing. And I feel like that will be kind of like sort of a balance of it. That's the other way that I could see it happening too. So I wouldn't mind it if it ended up being some kind of DQ or a draw, no contest, something along those lines, because I feel like it protects in a way both of them when you're in that kind of way that you don't know who to pick. But I could see that's something that they could decide on doing as well if they are kind of like in that pick of they don't know who to pick to win.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't. It like really brings up, how do we know they really are? We have no idea, but I would hope that the team in NXT is hands-on enough to know what they're doing, and to be honest, NXT's done a very good job of telling stories within the women's division without doing things like this. It's remarkable that this is the first time we've been talking about NXT where this has ever come up. There's never. Oh.
I think the other time I remember, not exactly the same, but it was. I remember something with Mandy, one of her promos, something of like kind of like body shaming, but I forgot who it was. I don't know if it was her saying it in general, or if it was aimed at somebody, but that's the only one I remember for being like, kind of like, oh, I'm beautiful, and this is what beautiful looks like. Basically, like she's the only like template for it, sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely this.
We can definitely see that on Rio.
I was gonna say we're gonna talk a lot about this tomorrow night, and we'll explain more about what I mean by that in a bit. But yes, this definitely this.
That writer is missing some color and other things too, so you know.
I mean, we're going to talk in depth about that writer's room tomorrow night, because, oh boy, does OLED have thoughts on the writer's room in WWE. I wrote something in my notes, and I'm going to say it, and it's going to get clipped, and I'm never going to live this down. I was then very thankful that Lola Vice came out, because somebody shut Blake Monroe up. Because, my God, I was like, where is this going? What are we doing?
This is the only time I was happy that Lola came out. That's it.
Yeah. This, of course, brings out Lola. It brings out Jaida. It brings out Jordynne Grace's music with Kalani Jordan. coming to the ring. So, is Kalani a heel again? Because she worked with the babyface to run off the heels, but she did also do the heel thing about coming out to somebody's music and be like, oh, did I do that? Channeling her best Steve Urkel. In that moment, and only ever in that moment, they get into a big brawl. The baby faces clear the ring. Blake, Urkel the legend. Yes, Urkel is indeed a legend. The story can hit the wrong person differently, so they need to be absolutely. Look, I'm a big guy. Trust me. I did not love Blake Monroe coming out here and being like, that's what a gym membership body looks like. And I go, I'd kill for old Jordan Grace's body. I'd kill for a body that good. And I'm getting now, to be clear, I did not say I like Lola Vice. I just said, thank God she shut Blake Monroe up. There's a big difference. I do like Jelly Roll. I think Jelly Roll's great. I think he has poor taste in wrestling tag teams, but
from this though, maybe was I the only one that was thinking along the lines this would have been a tag team match next week, and it wasn't. I was surprised.
Well, it would have been if it was Teddy Long, but since Teddy
Because
Long's
I
not
feel
back
like usually when they have those type of things, usually you can expect the tag team match. So I was waiting for them to say Lola and Kalani versus Jaida and Blake, and then I was surprised when it was just Blake versus Kalani for next week.
Yeah. Also, did you see where Blake tried to put her nuzzle up into Jada's breast and Jaida just shoved her to the ground?
Jaida said, "You ain't doing that on me." Mm-mm.
Yeah. Again, Jada's not a friend of the community, and I can't wait for Bailey Humphries versus for Jada Parker for again no particular reason. Also, I do have to disagree with two wonderful men who I adore on wrestling coverage. Brian Waters and our good friend DC Hendricks. No Jada Parker for NXT champion. No. Bad boys. Bad. Lash Legend? Yes. Jada Parker? No. Kalani Jordan? Sure. Anybody but Jacy Jayne? Yes, except Jada Parker. And maybe Lola Vice.
I was working on a little something over the weekend, and that's when I found a clip of you talking about Lash, and I was so surprised to hear such a different opinion now.
Listen. Me and Lash Legend go back a long way to nearly ending my wrestling coverage, to going ahead and all the wonderful things that come with my opinions on Lash Legend. Here's the thing with Lash. She has put in the fucking work to become a workhorse. And that match with Fallon Henley tonight was a banger. And shockingly, we'll talk more about when we get there, but I loved everything that happened in that match. Everything. Including the thing that people are going to think I have an issue with. Yes, listen, Lynn. Anyways, we then get the backstage promo with Izzy and Tatum and the Culling, where we find out that Tatum wants a match with Soul, but Izzy doesn't want her to have that because Izzy lost and she wants a rematch. And then Shawn Spears comes in, heaping praise upon Tatum, so Izzy has to be happy with it, and then tells her that she gets the match. And just as Ed starts to like Lash, she'll end up getting the call. Oh yeah, she's absolutely getting the call up. This is Lash Legend's swan song in NXT. This working with Nia Jax. We'll get to that. I have thoughts on that. So yeah, it looks like we're getting Sol Ruka versus Tatum Paxley next week. Now that's going to be stuck in my head. Yeah, what did you think of this right here with the backstage thing with the color? I know you missed bits of it.
And was this the part where Luca came out too at the end?
Yeah, and Luca says no family lasts forever, which is something that was repeated by all three of them.
I mean, I feel like he's definitely gonna cost Tatum that championship somehow next week.
Oh, yeah. Especially when her words were, "You'll have all of us out there to guarantee you win the gold next week."
AKA, you're not. Got it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We then get one of the cool things that NXT's been doing for a long time now: the walking promo. The person walking backstage and cutting a promo while they're getting ready to go to the ring. I love this Lash walking promo. She doesn't say anything outlandishly great. She doesn't say anything that's necessary. It's just, Evolution was a big moment for me. I did a lot of big work there. I'm coming for Jacy Jayne. I'm coming for that title. Yeah. They're going to make sure. Tatum. Well, Tatum's always going to have a friend in us, in you, and of course, in Javi. Which, if you wanted to hear Javi talk about how great Tatum is, you can go ahead and watch our interview with Javi Abraham. Core kid Javi, he was great. We deeply enjoy that. I do want to go back to our good friend Everything Pro Wrestling Conrad. 2 questions first. Who's ready for call-ups in NXT that they can afford to lose? So let's start with that first. Astrid, give me at least one on the male and the female side of people who can get called up who are ready that NXT can afford to lose.
I'll say Trick just because he's done everything he has to do. And at this point, the storylines just feel like fillers until that call really happens. With the girls, I feel like that one's a little tougher, but I would say one that feels ready to be will be Soruka. I feel like she has a connection with the crowd as well already, and the way she's been delivering her matches and everything, but she's doing really well so far. And I don't think we see her being NXT Women's Champion in the near future, at least because of the way the women's division is going. I think she's basically done what she can do in the women's division at the moment for now. So I think they can kind of like lose her in a bit, and it will be kind of okay in that sense of it too.
I don't have a list, but yes, you should. We've got one for Astrid. It's fantastic. I'll see if I can send it to you via the Google link that I have. I kind of have a running list of these kinds of things in my head. On the male side, I think Obafemi. I think, as much as I don't want to lose Obafemi, I think NXT, I can't lose him, but NXT can. I think Trick Williams. I think, believe it or not, I think Andre Chase. I think Andre Chase would do great stuff on the main roster. I think there's a lot of fun things to be had with Andre Chase doing a Chase shoe on the main roster. On the female side, there's a longer list for the females. Lash Legend is an absolute caller. I think Kalani Jordan's ready.
Yeah.
She needs work with her heel character, but I feel like that's something she could do on the main roster. I feel like they could put her with somebody who could help her with that. I think Thea Hale's main roster ready. Her in-ring work is good. She doesn't need to talk. She can just be the crazy Thea Hale that she always is. I also think that you could lose Sol Ruka. I think you could take Zarya. I think you could take Jordan Grace. I think most of that women's division you could probably take, and NXT would be okay. Because that women's division has so much talent. And you've got more coming with people like Callie Armstrong, with Zeta Steele, with Kylie Ray. Like, there are women ready to take these spots whenever they want them to. Like, there's a litany list of women in this NXT locker room. Fallon Henley. As much as I like to pick on her, Jacy Jayne.
Where's the petition for Zeta? I want Zeta already. Come on.
You just gotta watch Wednesday nights.
But it's not the same. I want her in NXT. NXT's not on Wednesdays though, you know?
But she's not part of the NXT Vanity Project. She's only part of the Evolve Vanity Project. By the way, just a real quick question for you. Zeta Steele, Kylie Ray, Zara Zacher. Who comes out with the Evolve with the WWE ID Women's Championship SummerSlam weekend? Not who do you want to win? Who do you think wins?
I hate to say it, but it's not gonna be Jaida because they keep making her lose, and I hate that so much. Who are the other two again? Sorry, I could blank that for a moment.
Zara Zacher and Kylie Ray.
I think Kylie then. Yeah, Smiley Kylie.
We also have the second part of the questions. Overall thoughts on the NXT TNA partnership. What do you potentially see after Bound for Glory? Oh boy. Do you want to talk? We'll get to all this in a minute. Oh, West Coast Podcast. Thank you for joining us. I love these guys. We'll get to that in a minute, though. I love, if you don't check out these guys Friday nights on SmackDown, go ahead and watch these guys during the last hour of SmackDown. I love jumping in on these broadcasts when I'm there on Friday nights. The Final Boss is great. I love everything they do. I love their movie reviews. I want them on this show at some point too, because it'll be East meets West, because they're two West Coast guys from LA and we're two East Coast from Florida and Boston. So I think there's a lot of fun East meets West stuff that I want going on. But love to shout out these guys. I've been talking to Astrid for months about getting these guys on one of our shows. So I went on a long 15-minute rant about the TNA NXT partnership, Conrad. So just go back to the first 15 minutes of the show last week, and you'll get my thoughts on that. Long story short.
Wait, but let's do the last part.
The partnership's been great. I think it's been very beneficial for both. But we're at a tipping point where if TNA doesn't start doing something, it's going to turn out worse than the AEW partnership. Because everything's been kind of back and forth, good and bad, up until now. But now with both your main championships being in on a competitor's television show, you've now lost the benefit of what's good. And after Bound for Glory, that's a really good question. There needs to be like a TNA versus WWE match at Bound for Glory.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there needs to be a big elimination match.
Yeah, West Coast Pop. We had talked about it a few minutes ago as well, about the weight jokes, because it's something that we feel it's inappropriate, but we'll see how it goes from there. Promo short and sweet. I could see that too. I think it's also, this is what, her second time, I think, like kind of like talking officially. So I feel it's like one of those things she has to get used to it. She's used to the AEW audience, so it's a different kind of audience as well. I think we just have to give her time that, if it sounds kind of silly, there's more people in the AEW venues than in NXT in Full Sail and the PC. So I would say we have to give her time to really adjust to this change, because it's a different kind of change for her. But I do get where you're coming from as well. And Millie saying the same thing. Promo Kid does wonders, so I never want JY on the mic. Let's not get us started on JY because we have Ed here. So
what are you waiting for? I don't know what you're talking about. What am I waiting for? What am I waiting for? But no, I do love West Coast Podcast. And I like the little Sabrina Carpenter short and sweet thing in there. Nice little tease, like Blake loves to do with the Sabrina Carpenter stuff. Which I believe that new album comes out soon, right? The Man's Best Friend album. They were trying to sell it to me on Target.com when I was trying to put my order in tonight. So that's the only reason why I even know that. Fallon versus Lash. I love this match. I love everything about this match. It didn't end the way I wanted. It didn't end clean, but I love all of this. The Nia Jax attack on Lash makes so much sense. It carries over things from Evolution into the real world. It carries over. I think Nia Jax could use a fun run in NXT going through some of those women. This Nia Jax is so much different than the previous Nia Jax that we've seen, because this Nia Jax is a safer worker, a more ring ready worker. Her promo game is better than it's ever been. Her character work is sensational right now. Nia Jax is doing such good work with and without the championship. Like, if I even watch her TikToks because they're funny. Like the one where Cody Rhodes just pops his head in and leaves. Like, there's Nia is so good right now. And I think putting her with Lash and letting her run through a couple of these women in the women's division, especially on the babyface side, wouldn't be a bad thing because it prolongs that Jacy Jayne title reign just a little bit longer, and it kicks it down that road just a little bit longer. And while I don't have enough alcohol for a very long Jacy Jayne title reign, I just think that there's a lot of good things that can come from a Nia Jax short run in NXT. I love that Fallon gets the win here because of Nia Jax, not because she was doing well, because she was about to lose. So it keeps Lash strong while also letting Fallon have that one-up on Jazmyn and to be able to throw it into Jacy's face. Like, I got the job done, like they do later on when Nia interferes in their backstage promo outside in the parking lot. And by the way, I do love how Jacy Jayne is standing right there as Nia says, and this is a message for anybody who calls themselves the most dominant thing in the women's division in WWE. And Jacy's standing right there with 2 championship belts, calling herself the greatest women's wrestler in WWE right now. Like, I'm here for Nia Jax versus Jacy Jayne. I mean, yes, but Mandy Rose is both better on the mic, better in the ring. I was
thinking this too.
Yeah, and I thought she was going to attack them right then and there. I was surprised she didn't. 4 of them went in the parking lot, and none of them got attacked. I was shocked.
Yep, same.
Goodfellas, yeah, that's right. No personality felt more authentic and hit better to me. Yeah, that was great. Like, that's fun. That's interesting. That's a good dig at somebody. Because Kalani is kind of characterless. Like, she's her in-ring work is getting better and better all the time. But we've talked about for the last month or 2. Where is her character going? It seems like she's being a heel while also being a babyface every week, and it's like we don't know where she stands.
Yeah.
But again, I'd put her up because I don't think that's something that she can fix in NXT. I think that she would fix that on the main roster, working with people like Bayley and Charlotte and Alexa and Rhea. Like, I think those are people who can help you develop that ability to really narrow it down. Yeah, and Goodfellas continues, but Kalani has the look and the in-ring work and just needs that character. I agree. Millie says, who in their right mind would see Nia Jax in the parking lot and dare go near? Well, again, they didn't see her. She just came storming up after the fact. Your thoughts on this match between what was there the match between Fallon, Henley, and Lash?
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad this was more of a showcase for Lash. I feel like they could do a lot more than this be the start of her showing up for a little bit more. I love her being the powerhouse that she is, and you're able to see that here so much, and I enjoy that. And the Nia thing, it surprised me at the same time to see her showing up here. I know she can't right now, but it just makes me think more and more that I would love for Charlotte to calm down, because she's the one that I've been like kind of like missing in the aspect of it, because when she was NXT Women's Champion, she didn't actually come down to NXT. So I'm like hoping one day that she'll come down and do something with one of the girls, because that's something I would love to see here. The way that Becky Lynch did with Tiffany, for example, something like that I would love to see with Charlotte at some point. But yeah, it's surprising to see Nia here, but at the same time, like you said, it's also good for Lash because it's somebody that's about her size, about like the athletic ability that she has, and she's able to like really help her out in the sense of it and help her grow and help her really show off more how she is as a bigger person, because she's taller than most of the girls on the roster right now. And I feel like Nia is one of those people, like she's probably one of the tallest girls on the roster as well, in the main roster. So to have somebody like Nia, I know I'm not particularly a fan of Nia, but I'm glad she has an experience that you can't deny, and I feel that's something that Lash could really learn from. So to see this happening, I feel like it's really well done. And I'm glad they continue in storylines from like the way everything happened in Evolution. And that's something I was hoping for when I talked about Evolution. I was hoping that the Battle Royal will kind of be like it is usually how it happens in NXT, how we get like different storylines coming out of that Battle Royal. And I'm glad to see this happening as well. I was very surprised the way that she came out after the Fatal Influence interview. That just came out of nowhere. But again, it's like I like to see that aspect of it, that having Fallon win the way she did as well, just because then she's able to say, oh, Jazmyn didn't win, but I did though. And it's like, and the way she interrupted Jacy, I was like, I still kind of held that hope that Fallon would be the one to beat Jacy, at least for the NXT Women's Championship, because I feel like that would be a great way to like end their storyline here with Fatal Influence too.
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot coming out of this, and it's rare that a dirty finish with a kind of short match, because this match didn't get a ton of time. I mean, isn't that? I know it's National Chicken Day. I did not know it was National Lasagna Day as well. Because I know I got about 4 different restaurants that told me it was time to eat chicken today. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for anybody to cost Jacy Jayne that title, but that's besides the point. Like I said, I love this. I thought it was great. I thought it did a lot of good things. And again, I think Nia having a short, because there's really nothing left for Nia to do right now on SmackDown.
No.
So I think it's a perfect time to let her kind of stew in NXT for a bit. It doesn't have to be long, a month or 2. She doesn't need a premium live event. She can just do her thing. It's great. We get Josh Briggs rewatching the clips from last week. He starts to get into it with Stacks, and then Imamura comes in. They get into it, and Briggs goes off, and Stacks tries to talk shit to Imamura, and Imamura slugs him one and says, "Next week, I'll show you what honor looks like." And then we get Astrid's heartbreak moment of the week, where Ariana Grace just looks over at Stacks and she goes, "Are you okay?"
They look so cute together.
Is that the first time they've been on camera on NXT television? Because I know they had the whole thing during Tony D's prison thing.
I believe so. Like I can recall at least. And then Nikita was there, and then you had Kendall and Kylie.
Yeah, I could care less who was in the back of this segment. It was all about the
your
free
girl.
man.
What happened to your smile when Kylie came up? Is that not what happened?
Because Inamura was on my TV screen, and I'm focused on my man Inamura.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I mean, and by the way, Stacks also said the line that family doesn't last forever. It was literally uttered by all 3 members of the D'Angelo family tonight. 3 of them. There's still a story they're telling there, and I'm very interested in what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, no, yeah. Who was lurking in the back was indeed it was Kendall Gray and Kylie Bright.
Yeah, and then Nikita was next to Ariana
on the couch.
Yeah, I feel like there was somebody else there too, but I can't recall.
There were guys off to the side on Briggs' side too. We then got Javon Evans versus Wesley in what's probably going to be everybody's match of the night because yes, Goodfellas, we'll talk about the post-credit scene for NXT in just a minute when we get there. But I was very excited for that too. I mean, do you want to go? I know you don't have notes for this match because you, like me, you were just watching and enjoying. What did you think of this?
Yeah. This is, I don't want to say better than I thought it was going to be because I feel like usually they're a little bit more, I don't even know how to describe it, but it feels like they haven't been doing this kind of matches lately at the same speed, if that makes sense. And once I saw this, I was like, okay, let's see what happens here. And I love that the fact that we're able to see Javon's agility and speed really be shown off here as well. I feel like they did so well of like showcasing him. It's like, we're gonna show you why this guy's gonna go against Oba. We're gonna really give you here like that sample as to why. And I'm also not a fan of Wesley losing because I feel like it's somebody like of him that's been in NXT for quite a while. But I do get what they're trying to do with Javon winning here as well, going towards like the Trick and Oba thing. And I like the fact after he wins that Oba's on the Eagle's nest and Trick is on the other side, and he's like basically like in the middle of like looking at both of them here. But again, that he did so well. That like almost like kind of like coast to coast kind of move that he did towards the end there. I was like, there's no way he's doing that, and I love the way he did it at the end. The dive onto TNT, how he was able to like keep them off long enough to get that win as well. I feel like he did incredible. They both did in this match, and this is between Fallon and you said and Lash, and this was my 2 matches of the night, definitely.
I agree. This match, you know, it does sort of punk out the high rise a little bit. It doesn't do a lot for Wesley in high rise. Yeah, that boy is indeed unreal. Absolutely. And honestly, nothing traditional. Yeah. It's so interesting that my 2 favorite matches of this night were the really traditional, nothing flashy match between Charlie and Tavion that was all story and all like ring work, and how closely I loved that match compared to this match, which was high flying, big moves, just crazy stuff that they did. This reminds me of North American champion Wesley. Like, this is the first time Wesley's felt like North American champion Wesley in a long time. And I loved it. I don't think he needs to win a whole lot. I think you can. Don't tell Alfred Kumano, whatever the fuck his name is, the douchebag on Twitter. Don't tell him that because he don't like that. But no, I agree. Wrestling is for everyone. Enjoy wrestling. No, I thought. I think you can. Wesley, I think, is at this point where he's heating up other talents. I think you need to get TNT better. I think I agree with Goodfella there that you kind of need to heat up Tyson and Tyriek, but I don't think you need to necessarily heat up Wesley. She's bored. I don't. That might be a reference to something he did. I don't know. That guy, I don't even follow him. He just pops up on my Twitter like every week with some shitty video. That just makes me want to punch
Wait, is it because of his hair? I guess, maybe?
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm thinking that. If it is, I think I know where he's coming from.
Like I said, all I know is that this guy makes rage bait videos that always make me rage every week. Like, it's just... He has like the world's worst takes on like everything. I feel like
pretty much.
Like, I can't imagine somebody, and I wasn't planning on bringing it. Oh, he got a cheese board from WWE. Oh, okay. I was like, if he's a friend of yours, I apologize. Like, oh, he does that, but okay, so he's an ass kisser. Okay, got it.
Oh my god.
Like, I love WWE, and I would love a cheese board from WWE, but like at the same time, like I understand that like everybody enjoying the wrestling that they love is what makes wrestling. You didn't start this, Billy. I did, because I said this to Astrid, and I promised her I wasn't going to go off on this, but I then had to because for some reason I just had to. Yeah, clicks, like, engagement equal money. I get. Like, I get it. I hate that I always fall into his shit. But like, just enjoy what you want. If you like it, like, Conrad watches so much AEW. Good for him. Peggy watches everything, and especially independent wrestling. She's trying to find a new one. But like, I love independent wrestling. I'm going Friday to an independent wrestling show. Like, I have too much wrestling this weekend because I'm going to an independent wrestling show on Friday night. And then we got 2 nights of SummerSlam. On top of wrestling tonight and, like, a wrestling-based documentary show that we're talking about tomorrow. Like, there's so much this week. And I'm so excited for it. Yes, independent wrestling, Bobby. You did hear independent wrestling. Oh, cool. Let me know about Fourth Rope because I've only heard about them through TNA. And I need to know a little bit more. So once you go, get at me and then there you go, all out in September. Good job. I like that. But get back to me after you go to Fourth Rope. I want to learn more about what's going on there and if that's something I should start paying attention to. No, I agree. I understand exactly what you meant. That wrestling is for everybody. It just it triggered that fucking video that I sent to Astrid. Like, this guy's the worst in professional wrestling. Javon Evans versus Wesley was fantastic. We're going to continue moving on. Miles Bourne has a fantastic promo here. Now I'm going to say something, and I'm going to ask you a real question. Remember before Miles took on Oba? Did this feel like the exact same interview? Like, it just gave us more from that interview that we had then? Where they had already put in the Lexis King stuff, knowing he was going to feud with Lexis King. Like, this doesn't feel like it's a new interview.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it was the exact same interview where they just extended it beyond, like, the stuff from...
I don't know. I didn't think about that actually, but yeah, I can see that too. Yeah, that's so weird.
SummerSlam, I believe, is 7 p.m. each night, I think.
I think
either
it's a little
7 or
bit earlier
8.
than usual. Yeah, no,
I think
it's not 8. I think it's 6 or 7.
I was gonna say I think it's 6 or 7. I'll say 7 now. But while Astrid's talking about, oh no, she's gonna look up for me while I'm talking. Like I love the Miles Bourne stuff, especially like
Mm-hmm.
Millie. Before I do this, can you let me know if I'm allowed to talk about your post? Because I really kind of want to read your post word for word.
It's at 6 p.m. Yeah.
Okay, it's a 6 p.m. start. I'm gonna give us a little bit of a break here. ACW coming to, all right, so is that Action Pro Wrestling? ACW coming to town? Matt Riddle is there? Enzo in the card? So yeah, like I said, I love independent wrestling. So yeah, if you don't go to independent wrestling already, you really should try to invest in one around you. It is so much fun, especially when you get big name talent coming through. I just want to wait for Millie because I want her permission. Oh, Awesome Championship Wrestling. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know. I'll have to look into them and see if they're on. I have IWTV, and that's how I find a lot of the wrestling that I watch. I was literally in the middle of asking y'all if you saw it, so yes, you have our mission.
Yeah.
Great, fantastic. So all of you know Millie. She's in the chat every week. We love her to death. This is a post that she wrote tonight after the show with the Miles Bourne thing. As a disabled person in a wheel, I'm just gonna pull it up on screen too.
Yeah, I was about to say,
So you guys can-
if I can see it.
So we can post it here.
Mm-hmm.
As a disabled person in a wheelchair, paraplegic, what happens? Who happens to also be partially deaf in one ear, 70% in the right. Seeing Miles get this platform to bring awareness is so heartwarming. Seeing him in a storyline with Lexus being like so many uneducated ableists who think you're faking your disability or that it's part of you doesn't fully work, that you're just dumb and incompetent is generally infuriating, but it needs to happen. No, not my handle. Sorry, Millie. Whoops. But no, I loved this post, and I was going to paraphrase it in a way, but no, we're going to pick on Lexus King even more because he's an ableist bastard who's making fun of Miles Bourne, our lovely baby, who, by the way, if you haven't, the way he went through the airport with Stephanie Vicaire, gently guiding her through, like, he allowed all the fans to have their moment with her while also making sure that she continued moving and continued getting out of that airport without getting bogged down, was so great and so fantastic. I'm going to be wrestling out this weekend, catching up on Stardom. Hulk, if you don't already, make sure that you watch, if you watch anything Noah, make sure that you go ahead and catch Mel's stuff on our local establishment where she does all kinds of stuff like that. Goodfellas, Miles is so likable. Realistically, he needs to show levels on TV. He talks about heavy stuff. It's all just last to show. I agree. I think, like, we talk about Baby Randy all the time, but there's so much more to him than being Baby Randy. Mm-hmm. And that little push with Obafemi did exactly what it needed to do. It pushed him that next level. It gave him that ability to shine just that little bit that he needed. And now we're seeing it. It's like everybody wants more of him. He's genuine. He's heartfelt. He's lovable. He's likable. I mean, and he's got Stephanie Vicaire, so I want to punch him in the face a little too. Like, it's all of that, and that's great. And by the way, he's really good in the ring. Like, he's young and he's green and he needs work, but like, he's really good.
There you go.
Mel has an episode coming out about Sunny Voyage 27th show with Hayata taking on Tetsuya Endo. Nice. I didn't know there was another Tetsuya except for Tetsuya Neto. So, yeah, Neto and Endo. Did you have any thoughts on this Miles Bourne package, or did we cover it all here?
No, pretty much that. I'm glad that at the same time it started with the Obafemi feud and it really is giving him that platform to really speak on it. I love the fact when people get to have this kind of spotlight and not only talk about themselves, but really be able to tell a fact about themselves, and then it makes them so relatable to everybody else. Like well, Osprey's one, for example, when he talks about his autism, which is something I didn't even know about him until like he mentioned it for the first time. So it's like I seen a kid with autism that really felt like really connected to Will because of promos like this, and I think this is something that they should bring up more often, having the people talk about their personal stuff. Like we even like watching a little bit of Unreal, Rhea talking about her anxiety. I'm like, I wish you would talk about things like that, but with her character, you really can at the same time. But any kind of things like that that I get to see from the wrestlers that sounds more personal and could help me connect with them is what I love to see. So to see something like this, it's like even though I'm not deaf, I could see like how the people that are in the community can actually relate to him and connect to Maz a little bit more, and shows more of his personality as well. So I feel like it's always something positive to see going around.
Yeah, they've been doing a really good job keeping Miles on track. If you ever listen, we'll work on that because I think that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, Lexus is such a douchebag like type of personality that he's perfect for this. I just hope he's comfortable being the foil to this because like we talked about the body shaming thing. Whereas I don't believe Lexus feels this way. Like I kind of feel like I could see Blake believing in this. I feel like I'm on the other side with Lexus. I feel like I worry for Lexus that Lexus is going to get a bit too much hate for some of this. I like the idea that they're doing it, but I really hope Lexus is okay with what's going to come next with all of this, because I would really hate for his career to be derailed, because this is a good thing to. And again, such a hard line to walk, and he's done it such an interesting way. So, yeah, yes, that as well. I know he'll be great at it, but I truly don't want him. Like, I want to hate the character Lexus King, but I don't want Brian Pillman Jr. getting hated for something like this. And I think that's where the thing lies for him. Is I think like something like this, I think can land a lot of real hate on the person as opposed to the character, and I worry about that. Next week, we got Blake versus Kalani, Soul versus Tatum for the Women's North American Championship, Hank and Tank versus Chase Yu for the tag team titles, and Miles versus Lexus. So 4 big matches to go on. Lexus and everyone striving for that Miz and Chelsea role is a thing that should be. Agreed, 1,000%. And if you haven't watched Unreal, you need to. I'm 3 episodes in. If you haven't watched any of it, watch episode 3. That Chelsea Green spotlight in episode 3 just made me love her even more. And again, we'll talk about this in just a bit, but Astrid and I are going to be breaking down the first 3 episodes of Unreal tomorrow night, and then I'm going to try to convince Astrid on Thursday night after Bring Respect Radio to do the other 2, so we can just get it done and over with, so we don't have to do it over 2 weeks. Because I really don't want to do it over 2 weeks. And a bug just landed on my desk that I'm trying to kill. So I can't find it anymore. Oh well. Moving on. All right. Yeah. I think everybody should start. And when you do check out Unreal tomorrow, good fellas, go ahead and join us tomorrow night. We don't know what time yet. I'm thinking we should probably, since the amount of content we have to cover, we should do it during Dynamite. So I'm thinking 8 or 9 o'clock EST start time. Again, follow the Our Local Establishment Ole podcast on Twitter. You can find all of our things here. We'll definitely be tweeting it out tomorrow night with what time we're starting with when we should figure it out in 10 minutes when the show's over. We then got the terrible toxic parking lot promo that we've already talked about. And then we get Ethan Page defeating Santino Marella in a match that made Ethan Page look like a bit of an idiot. I'll be honest. Ethan Page gained nothing coming out of this. Nothing. Not a damn thing. Santino had a great match.
Yeah, I love the fact that people keep chanting. It's like, you still got it. It's like, if you have watched in TNA, he had wrestled not too long ago because he teamed up with Ariana. But I think it's funny seeing this too, because he has the Italian kind of gimmick, but then they're like, oh, from Ontario, Canada, I think is what they mentioned, and they built him from Canada. I was like, Sounds kind of funny when you think about it that way. But I like the fact that Santino gets to have this kind of spotlight because not often we see him wrestle because in TNA just an authority figure. But I just don't understand how this really kind of benefits Ethan in the end because it just beats somebody that doesn't really wrestle anymore. So it's like, what was really the point at the same time? So it's like, I feel like it didn't really show off anything new for Ethan either. It was just like a quick defense if you think about it that way. So it's like, I just didn't see how it would benefit him in the end. So it's one of those, and I was like, I'm glad for the nostalgia aspect of it for Santino, but don't know why Santino's fighting for that and isn't too worried about the TNA titles. He mentioned it the trick of like about like, oh, tonight I'm not a TNA authority figure. I'm just a WWE superstar tonight, and he took away his little badge as he was making his way to the ring. But that's all he mentioned about it. But it just again, I feel like it didn't really benefit anybody at this point. Yes, he did. I think it was Santino and Lola versus Mr. Iguana, and I forgot what the lady was.
Yeah, it was at it was at the AAA show 2 weeks ago or last week. It was not the one that Dominic was on, where Dominic proved he's the biggest draw in professional wrestling. It's another one. It's the one that Natty was. It's the one that Natty was on like a week and a half ago.
I know. I'm trying to remember who the lady was. I know against Mr. Iguana.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, La Hiedra. That's her name.
Okay. La Hiedra.
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 So yeah, Santino and Lola versus Mr. Iguana La Hiedra. That was July 11th. It was the event.
All right, so 2 or 3 weeks ago. All right. Now, also remember that Triple H has announced that the third part of Triple Mania, the August show, will be airing live for free on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely go ahead and give that a check out as we have Dominic Mysterio taking on Dragon Lee, El Grande Americano in the form of Mr. Tiffany Stratton, and what's his name? Vikingo, El Hijo de Vikingo, for the AAA Mega Championship. The moment I had two thoughts typed out and decided against sending both of them. Yeah, it happens. Yeah, like it was a fine match. I love seeing Santino in the ring again, and Santino looked great, but what did it do for Ethan? What's the point for Ethan?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And then we get, as Goodfellas said earlier, the post-credit scene for NXT tonight. Tony D'Angelo sitting at the table all by himself. He's unwrapping his stuff, and then a big shadow overtakes him. And we get the cliffhanger. Who was it, Astrid? Who do you think it was?
I don't know. I really have no clue, to be honest. I think Ethan should have brought a Canadian Cobra chicken, Canadian goose, to fight Santino's Cobra.
No, we don't need any Canadian geese. We do not need a Canadian goose. I've seen enough of those on the internet. I don't need to see any more Canadian goose. Shout out to Kyle Shaw. Not in a good way, but...
Nah. There you go. I'm not going to do it again.
I can't do it because if I do it, then people will say that I'm cheering for Hang Tank, and I'm not. Mm-hmm. Fuck Hang Tank.
I wonder if it's Rizzo, because there's no point in Stacks going back to him or Luca. Rizzo's the only one left.
Oh no. I have an idea for this one. This person was massive. It's Jasper Troy.
Oh.
Jasper Troy's going to write out Tony D'Angelo.
This is so random.
We're talking about Canadian gooses.
And we had a lot of Joe Henry jump scares throughout the show that I thought it was something wrong with my app when I was watching it.
Omos is a good shout. I like that. I mean, we have better Omos in NXT already, but I mean, I guess we can bring original shitty variety to it.
Yeah.
And it's sad I say that because every time I see Omos in like videos out and about with like people, he's so great and personable, and I love him and I adore him. But then he gets on my TV screen and is like, "Who the fuck are you? And what did you do with the guy that I loved and adored when I was watching you on the internet?"
He's gone.
Astrid, tell the good people where we can find you.
You can find me on my Twitter, Blue Sky is Astrid Pizarro, and my Instagram and Threads is Astrid Pizarro 20. As you said, sometime tomorrow in the evening, you'll find us talking here about Unreal, dropping our thoughts of the first 3 episodes. So looking forward to that. We also had I know we did last summer review that went up over the weekend. So if you have watched the movie, there you go. That's our review as well. A little bit of a rant from Bobby that was different to see. He pulled out an edit on me at one point, sort of. So there you go. Other than that, you can go on my YouTube channel if you haven't. You can hit subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I upload or go live.
And of course, you can find me on Twitter, Blue Sky EdFries12584. You can find me on Twitter, twitch.tv/EdFries2002. You can find me and the Marvel Talk team, obviously, with our host, Ophelia Payne. Peggy is here in the chat. You can find us as she allowed us to do a Fantastic Four review this Sunday, so you can go ahead and see that as I've been playing with my Mr. Fantastic Cup the entire show. He's been popping up. And again, like Astrid said, you can catch us here next Tuesday as we talk all things NXT. Astrid has a fun special guest for Heatwave when I will not be here, as I will be at Heatwave live and in person. So it'll be a lot of fun. I'm very excited to go ahead and be there. And of course, like I said, you can check out, apparently we're going to be back with Marvel Talk next Wednesday. As unfortunately, Marvel has decided to move up Eyes of Wakanda. So that means we have to, after SummerSlam weekend, have to watch the Eyes of Wakanda episodes that drop on Friday so we can review that next week. I've been wondering how entire stream of Cup that was. Yes, I could not spare the $80 for the Galactus popcorn tin, so I did get my Reed Richards, Papa Pedro, Funko Pop style cup for $20. So, and of course, as you've seen on the screen, you can catch our local establishment at all the wonderful places at Ole Podcasts on all the favorite social media platforms that you follow, as well as here on YouTube and Twitch, where you can hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment on the videos, guys. If you watch them, even if you just go back after you watching them live, go back and leave a comment later on just to let us know. Bobby and I like to interact with people in the comment section. Plus, it helps push the video out to more people, so we can go ahead and have more people seeing it. Watch my review. I have thoughts on Pedro Pascal. It is what it is. Anyways, for myself, for Astrid, thank you all for joining us. It was so great seeing so many amazing names in the chat. We're going to see you guys next week. Goodbye.
I am in misery.